Welcome back to Guiding Bolt Gaming. I'm Jessica, and today we're going to do a quick run-through of how D&D Combat works. At a basic level, combat consists of 5 steps. First, the DM determines surprise. If one side was trying to be stealthy, then the DM compares the stealth check of anyone hiding with the passive perception score of each creature on the opposing side. Any creature that does not notice the threat is surprised at the start of the encounter. If you're surprised, you can't move or take an action on your first turn in combat, and you can't take a reaction until that turn ends. Second, the DM establishes starting positions by determining where all the characters and monsters are located within the room and their distance and direction from one another. Third, initiative is rolled. Everyone rolls a d20 and adds their initiative score, which is the same as their dexterity modifier. The total number represents the player's initiative. Each player's initiative is put in descending rank to determine the turn order for the entire combat encounter. The combatant with the highest initiative goes first, which takes us to step 4. The first turn marks the beginning of the first round in combat. Overall, combat is broken down into rounds. Each round represents about 6 seconds in the game world. During each combat round, all battle participants, including PCs, monsters, and NPCs, take a turn. Once everyone has had their turn, the round ends. This brings us to the 5th and final step of combat. After the last creature in the initiative order takes their turn, the turn order then goes back to the top and a new round begins. Players keep taking turns in each combat round until the combat ends. Let's dive into more specifics. On your turn each round, you can move a distance up to your movement speed and take one action. You can choose to forego moving, taking an action, or doing anything at all on your turn if you wish. When it comes to your movement, you can choose to break it up. For example, if your speed is 30, you can choose to move 10 feet, take your action, then move up to 20 more feet. Actions are essentially the main activity a character does on their turn. The most common types of action a player will make during combat include making an attack or casting a spell. Other frequent action options include dashing, which doubles your movement speed, disengaging to move away from an enemy without triggering an opportunity attack, dodging to make yourself more difficult to hit, helping another creature complete their own task, hiding, searching, or readying an action to take at a later point in time based upon a specific trigger. When using the attack action, roll a d20 and add the attack modifier. If this total is equal to or higher than the armor class of the intended target, then the attack hits. On a hit, roll the damage dice associated with the weapon and add damage modifiers. This total is then subtracted from the target's hit points. If a 20 is rolled on the d20 attack dice, this is known as a critical hit. The attack hits regardless of any other modifiers or the target's armor class. On a critical hit, the damage dice are rolled twice. If a 1 is rolled, this is known as a critical failure. The attack misses automatically. When it comes to attacking, there are generally 2 types of attacks, melee and ranged. Melee is hand-to-hand combat where you attack with the foe within reach. Most creatures have a 5-foot reach and attack with weapons like swords or maces. Typical monster melee attacks include strikes with their claws, horn, teeth, or other body parts. Ranged attacks are done from a distance and typically include bows, spells, or thrown weapons like daggers. If a ranged attack has a single range, you can't attack a target beyond that range. If it has 2 ranges, the smaller number is the normal range and the larger number is the long range. Your ranged attack roll has disadvantage when your target is beyond normal range and you can't attack a target beyond the long range. There's another type of special action you can take on your turn called the bonus action, which is granted by some class features, spells, or other abilities. Examples include a druid using wild shape or a bard giving bardic inspiration. Unless a bonus action's timing is specified, you can take a bonus action whenever you wish during your turn. You can only take one bonus action per turn. If you don't have a special ability, feature, or spell that grants you a bonus action, then you do not have one. On your turn, you can also do a variety of flourishes that require neither your move or your action. These object interactions take place during your movement or main action, and only one can be taken for free per turn. Examples include brief utterances, drawing a weapon, opening a door, flipping a lever, grabbing an object off a shelf within reach, or handing an item to another character. If the activity requires special care or presents an unusual obstacle, such as picking a lock or cranking a drawbridge, then your DM could reasonably expect you to use your turn action to complete the activity. Certain abilities, spells, and situations allow you to take a special action called a reaction. A reaction is an instant response to a trigger of some kind which can occur on your turn or someone else's. The opportunity attack is the most common type of reaction. Casting the spell Shield is another example. When you take a reaction, you can't take another one until the start of your next turn. If the reaction interrupts another creature's turn, that creature can continue its turn right after the reaction. If at any point you drop to 0 hit points during combat, then you either die outright or fall unconscious. If damage reduces your hit points to 0 and the remaining damage equals or exceeds your hit point maximum, then you die instantly. If the damage drops you to 0 hit points but fails to kill you, then you fall unconscious. When you start a turn at 0 hit points, you must make what is known as a death saving throw. Roll a d20. If the roll is 10 or higher, you succeed. If it's lower, then you fail. On a third success, you become stable. On a third fail, you die. The successes and failures don't need to be consecutive. The number is reset to 0 when you regain any points or become stable. Rolling a 1 on the d20 for a death saving throw counts as 2 failures. Rolling a 20 means you regain 1 hit point. If you take damage while at 0 hit points, you suffer a failure or 2 failures if it was a critical hit. If the damage equals or exceeds your maximum HP, then again you suffer instant death. A player can aid another that's in death saving throws by healing them or by using their action to administer first aid. A successful DC 10 Wisdom Medicine check will result in stabilizing them. A stable creature doesn't make death saving throws even though it has 0 hit points, but it does remain unconscious. The creature stops being stable and must start make death saving throws again if it takes any damage. A stable creature that isn't healed regains 1 hit point after 1d4 hours. Sometimes an attacker wants to incapacitate a foe rather than deal killing blow. When an attacker reduces a creature to 0 hit points with a melee attack, the attacker can knock the creature out. This choice is made the instant the damage is dealt. The creature falls unconscious and is stable. Now let's do a quick summary. On your turn, you can take 1 action, move up to a total of your movement speed, take 1 bonus action if you're granted one by a class feature, spell, or other ability, and do 1 simple object interaction during your movement or main action. At any point from the start of one turn to the beginning of your next turn, you can take 1 reaction. Now, obviously there are many more nuances to combat, but those are all topics for more in-depth videos. In fact, we'll be releasing a video that goes more in-depth on the options available for combat action soon, so be sure to keep an eye out for that notification. What questions do you still have about combat? Let us know down below in the comments. If you thought this video was helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, happy gaming!